Hi, this is Royce with Viking Wax Press and the Alternative Football Network. This video is another in my series ranking the helmets of various football leagues throughout the years. Today I will be ranking NFL alternate helmets of 2025. Before I get into it, here's how my helmet rankings work. I rank helmets based on the following categories: personal taste, logo, color scheme, uniqueness, legibility, use of space, and contrast. Each helmet will be ranked from 1 to 10 in these categories with a maximum score of 70 possible. Tiebreakers will go to the team ranked highest in personal taste, then logo, and so on. I'll be ranking the 8 helmets from the NFL's Rivalries series, which this year cover the AFC North and the NFC West, and 10 other alternate helmets I haven't ranked in previous videos. Here are all 18 helmets. For the rankings, I'll start with the lowest ranked and move up from there. At number 18 are the Cleveland Browns Alpha Dog helmet. I've also heard it coined the Poop Brown helmet, and while it's the second worst helmet I've ever rated, it's still better than the Browns' primary helmet, which isn't brown at all. I will say, I like that they went with the brown face mask and included the double line orange center stripe to help break up the block of chocolate. Still, this helmet earned a miserable 10 out of 70. Next up are the Miami Dolphins Dark Waters Rivalries helmet. I want to like this one because it has so much potential to make those bright colors stand out on the dark shell. I think the uniforms and center stripe of the helmet accomplish that, but this isn't a uniform ranking video. If you're curious about how Rivalries uniforms ranked, after you're done with this video, go to the World of Football YouTube channel and watch my buddy Adam's uniform ranking video where he covers those. So here's my biggest problem with the Dark Waters helmet. The body of the Dolphin is primarily black. They totally missed the opportunity to have some of the best contrast out there. Here's an example of a concept I found online that does what I was hoping these would do. Give it more contrast to match the vibrant nightlife Miami is known for. The ones they will be wearing this season sink down to 22 out of 70. The Bills' Cold Front Rivalries helmet come in at number 16. I love the Bills, but these are way too similar to the Broncos, Vikings, and Packers wintry whites, or whatever each team calls them. I call them unfinished and weak. Sure, it's a clean look, but like my brother Aaron pointed out, what happens if they wear these on a snowy day in Buffalo? I'll tell you what will happen. Meet Josh Allen, White Walker. Like I said when I reviewed the Vikings Winter Warrior look, the addition of silver, which has nothing to do with the team's color scheme, is borderline blasphemous. That said, the one good thing about this Bills helmet is the crackling ice center stripe, but as my bro also pointed out, it should be an icy blue, not silver. Cold Front Bills get a 23 out of 70. The Steelers' 1933 throwback helmet is next. The look brings back their 1933 uniforms, but the helmet is actually a nod to the 1962 Steelers, who wore the Steel Industries logo with the word Steel on it before the team petitioned to alter it to the Steelers. The Steelers tried this throwback look before, back in 2007, but it'll look different with the primarily yellow uniforms this season. They're sticking with their tradition of wearing the logo only on one side of the helmet, which is one of the few traditions I'm not a fan of. Not a big fan of this one overall. It gets a 26 out of 70. The New England Patriots Nor'easter look is part of the Rivalry series. This thing draws heavily on wintry nautical aspects, at least in theory, and hence the player with the anchor over his shoulders. It's a complete disconnect from the tricorn hat-wearing Patriot their logo is wearing though, so I don't get what is going on here. I do like the color blue they're using, and the fact that they dropped the unpatriotic silver shell, which was a stupid idea when they originally introduced the Flying Elvis look back in 1993. Sadly, this new look is still missing one of the Patriot red, white, and blue trio, but this concept adds the red, and it would have been better. I don't hate this look, but it could be much better. 33 out of 70. At number 13 are the Washington Commanders and what they're calling their Super Bowl era helmets. Oddly enough, a team called the Commanders has never been to the Super Bowl. The helmet does bring in elements from the days when the Washington Redskins went to the Super Bowl, namely the tri-stripe yellow and white center stripe and the yellow face mask. This comparison shows the Commanders' primary look on the left and the Super Bowl era look on the right. In my opinion, the helmet on the right is much better, but it really only has those two design element changes. It's not enough to lift it very far above average, since it still has that clunky W on the side. 36 out of 70. The San Francisco 49ers are up next with their For the Faithful Rivalries helmet. The black shell really helps the red and gold stand out on the helmet, and the subtle white outline around the logo is a master move of a veteran designer. My favorite feature on this helmet is the gold face mask, which ties the whole look together and serves as the sparkling vein of gold in a dark mine. That said, the logo is still not my favorite and needs to be larger. The For the Faithful helmet gets an above average 37 out of 70. At number 11 are the New York Jets' Gotham City Rivalries design. I have to admit, it's a gothic look, fitting if you're a New Yorker whose soul is charred and black from the past few seasons of football. It borrows elements from the AAF's 2019 Birmingham Iron, and the center stripe has the same double hash manhole cover design used by the NAL's 2019 New York Streets. I hope they decide to go with a black chin strap instead of the stark white one. It's not a great helmet due to the lack of color overall, but I feel like it fits the New York vibe. The Jets land with a 39 out of 70. The Saints are bringing back this black alternate to go with their game day golds look. The extra thick center stripe is made out of tiny little fleur-de-lis, which is actually a cool design element, but why is the center stripe so thick? It just looks weird, and the spacing between the tiny fleur-de-lis should be tighter to make it look more like a stripe from a distance, instead of an oddly speckled spectacle. The fleur-de-lis logo on the side of the helmet should be bigger too, like these black Saints helmets they tried out during the 1969 preseason. That's me being picky. I really don't dislike this helmet, it's just not as good as their new white alt helmet I will be ranking here in a few minutes. The Black Shell Saints get a 43 out of 70. Coming in at number 9 are the Seattle Seahawks. Their rivalry's entry is known as the high decibel zone, but I've also seen it called iridescent green, which is more accurately descriptive. This one was a challenge to rank because it has so much potential, and a few tweaks could vault this into an elite class of helmets. I'll start with the positives. It has a beautiful colored shell, a perfect hue for the Great Northwest, and especially the Emerald City of Seattle. The Seahawks have one of my favorite NFL logos, and I love the way it wraps around the back of the helmet, upping its score in the use of space category. They also did a good job of matching the face mask to the shell. Now for the misses. The biggest miss is the color, or lack thereof, on the logo. It's the same wolf gray color they use in their primary color scheme, and it gets completely overwhelmed and washed out by the green of the shell. Here's a graphic showing the Seahawks helmet designs over the years, and they all have a bright colored eye. This one needs that infusion of brightness badly. Even if they used the same iridescent green they're using for the uniforms, it would help tremendously. I also think the white outline on the logo would be better than gray. Here's my design attempt at what this might look like. The non-touched up version gets a 45 out of 70. The Green Bay Packers are rolling out their 1933 classic concept look this season. When Illinois came out with this leatherhead throwback look a couple years ago, I immediately had the thought, an NFL team needs to do that. The Packers originally tried to pull off the leather helmet look in 2012, but all they came up with were these milk duds. The Redskins tried the following year with a slight improvement, but still didn't have the look of a genuine leather helmet. This season, the Packers did it right and included a pattern and stitching to give the helmet the right leather look. I realize the colors are pretty similar to the Browns' Alpha Dog helmet, but the details in this design make all the difference. I gave it a 46 out of 70. The Rams Midnight Mode rivalry helmets come in at number 7. As you can see by my score in the personal taste category, this ain't one of my favorites. The way my ranking system works, though, forces my bias into a small corner and allows the other 6 design elements to arrive at a more balanced ranking. I will tell you what I personally don't like about this Rams design, and pardon me while I go on a rant. The black, or extremely dark blue, shell has nothing to do with the Rams or the team's traditions. Here's the deal, I really don't like it when teams just make changes because of a trend. Like we saw earlier, the all-white trend, or in this case, the black shell trend, for the sake of trendiness. Boo! Be your authentic self, teams, or at least be creative in your thought process. Even though those Seahawks helmets I ranked earlier weren't great, at least they were identifying with Seattle's Emerald City theme. These Rams helmets are just trying to be cool, but the black shell isn't what gives the helmet a solid score. The unique logo, legibility, awesome contrast, and stellar use of space elevate this design in spite of the black shell. The good elements of this helmet lift the Midnight Mode Rams to 53 out of 70. At number 6 are the Arizona Cardinals' Built to Last rivalries helmet. The Cardinals got creative the right way and tied the helmet design into the city. But someone had a terrible idea to use red lighting in their photo shoot, which makes it hard to see the actual color and subtle touches that this helmet has, so I'm going to speed through the promos to get to there we go, a clean shot. The sand-speckled helmet is super timely, as the Phoenix area had a massive dust storm on August 25th, 2025, which, as I record this, was just a few days ago. The change to the color scheme of the Cardinal gives it more of a desert feel, too. I've always thought the Cardinal primary helmet was just average, boring, mid, meh, whatever adjective you want to give it to mean forgettable. This update is exactly what the Cardinals needed to bring to the table to identify with their desert home. Hey Cardinals, you've been in Phoenix for 37 years now. It's about time you updated your helmet to match your community. Now make this your primary helmet permanently. This design gets a solid 53 out of 70. Moving into the top 5, we have the New England Patriots bringing back their Pat Patriot look they had between 1961 and 1992. They started out in 1960 with this tricorn hat look, but it didn't go over very well. The following year, they switched to this Revolutionary War soldier hiking a football, and it was instantly iconic, and quickly became a fan favorite. I can see why too. It ties football directly to the rich history of the Boston area, and emphasizes the patriotic feel by incorporating the red, white, and blue colors of the flag of these great United States of America. In 1993, the Patriots switched to the Flying Elvis helmets and lost me. Again, where does silver fit in? Please, New England, scrap Elvis and bring back Pat full-time. It's the right thing to do. It's the patriotic thing to do. But maybe bump up the size of the logo a bit to improve the 53 out of 70 ranking. At number 4 are the Saints white alternate helmet, which is, in my opinion, the best of the brand new designs rolled out this season. I can sum this helmet's positive qualities up in one word: details. Check out the flecks of gold on the white shell. Notice the tiny fleur-de-lis on the gold center stripe. Catch how the gold face mask matches the center stripe and the logo? The designer paid attention to the details. My one ask is the same I had with the Pat Patriot helmet: enlarge the logo a bit. Otherwise, it's a top-tier helmet, and it gets a 54 out of 70. For number 3, we have the Los Angeles Chargers Supercharger design, a throwback to the helmets they wore between 1988 and 2006, including Super Bowl 29 in 1995. Here's Natrone Means in that Super Bowl wearing that helmet design. You can tell the players had fun during the photo shoot for the rollout of these helmets. And these helmets are fun. The design is timeless and instantly recognizable. It's a beautiful classic with very few faults, 55 out of 70. The Buffalo Bills red alternate comes in at number 2. The Bills wore this design from 1984 through 2010. Jim Kelly took these lids to 4 straight Super Bowls. Great colors, nice large logo extending toward the back of the helmet, cohesive and bold center stripe, face mask with complementary color. Not much to find wrong with this Bills helmet, 55 out of 70. That leaves the red Atlanta Falcons alternate as the top helmet on this list. 5-time Pro Bowler Tommy Nobis was the first player drafted by the Falcons in 1966. He wore this classic Falcons helmet that year, and the Falcons kept the look intact through 1989. Here's quarterback Steve Bartkowski sporting it in the 70s and 80s. Here's what it looked like last season. So, let's break it down. One of my personal favorite helmets. It has a great logo, classic bird of prey with massive wings swooping down to catch a fleeing victim in its outstretched talons. Oh, and that enhanced and purposefully outlined silhouette also serves as the capital letter F. The bold, bright, and beautiful red shell is the perfect backdrop for the black logo, and the white emphasizes those colors rather than distract. High marks in the unique category. It's recognizable from anywhere in the stands. Larger than average logo and the tri-band center stripe make for very good helmet coverage. And the contrasting colors make for a sharp and clearly defined helmet. This helmet gets a 57 out of 70 and is the 22nd highest helmet of the 306 I've ranked to date. The rivalry series ended up with some fairly disappointing scores, but the Saints, Chargers, Bills, and Falcons have me excited to watch when they wear their alt helmets this season. Quick note. There are some NFL alts that will be worn this year, not included in these rankings, like the beautiful Lions and Ravens alts, but you need to check out my 2024 NFL alts video to see how I ranked those. You can also check out my helmet ranking playlist to watch over 20 more of my helmet ranking videos. Are you excited about the Rivalries series? Are throwbacks your thing? Tell me what you think by leaving a comment down below. Follow my profile, Viking Wax Press, on X and Facebook for more football content. Click the like button and subscribe if you liked the content. It will help me keep making videos like this. Thanks for watching. This is Royce with Viking Wax Press and the Alternative Football Network. God is good, y'all. Take care.